And welcome to another episode of the Tar Heels Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Grant Chachere, the lead beat writer for North Carolina Tar Heels on SI, and I am here to bring you all the latest news in regards to your North Carolina Tar Heels. Now, I was at the Dean Smith Center for a very long time, and it's great to be back at the Dean Dome, of course, being in Charlotte Monday and Tuesday. And also, it's just a break from all the chaos surrounding the football team. I think, of course, we all know what's going on over there. But it was great to be at the back of the Smith Center for the first time in a little bit. We spoke to Caleb Wilson today in a presser. That is already up on our site. Also, we were able to talk to Jaden Young, who is a guard on the team. He transferred in from Virginia Tech, and he also has a really cool story because he grew up a Tar Heel fan. Like most of the press conferences about him growing up, being a Tar Heel fan, and just get that experience playing for Virginia Tech and coming back home to play the Tar Heels, and just being at the blue and white scrimmage and stuff like that. Really cool story. So make sure you go check that out. That is also on our site. Got a lot of great content. But what made this day unique at the Smith Center was the fact that we're able to see them practice. We haven't been able to see them practice all season. We saw them at the blue and white scrimmage, but this is the first time kind of getting an inside look at practice. And you see Hubert Davis, kind of watching his team. And this is where he gives a little shimmy right there. That was pretty funny. But it was really great to see the guys out there. And really, one of the things I've noticed from being at practice was just how relaxed they were. They were really relaxed. And in a good way, not in a bad way, of course, not where they're being lazy, but it was relaxed. They knew what they were doing, right? There was no confusion. There was no, what's the word I'm looking for? It was calm. It was routine. They knew what they were doing. And it was in contrast to what we've seen from the football program. I think that's it's just from my experience, right? Because, look, I'm new to North Carolina. So far it's been football dominated, but this is the first time I actually got to see them practice, go through the routines, go through the stretches and everything like that. I mean, Hubert was really relaxed. I mean, he obviously was still coaching them up a good bit, but he was relaxed. And when I mean by relaxed, I mean he knows what these guys are supposed to do. He knows these guys can fulfill the tasks that are being laid upon them. And for example, like this right here, this is them going through a rebounding drill. Sean May, of course, is overseeing that. Of course, we all know what Sean May has done for this Carolina program. He was a part of the 04-05 national championship team. You can make a case was their best player down the stretch, especially in the tournament. Rebounding wise and scoring on the inside. I mean, this is him kind of going over some inside scoring drills and everything like that. And we've also known that he's a very influential person for the bigs. I mean, Caleb Wilson and Henry Vassar have said a lot of great things about Sean May and how he's helped them with their game. It's a lot of great stuff I practiced today. And I know this is a very long video. I'll kind of skip through here a little bit, kind of get ahead. So this is Marcus Page coaching up the guards and everything like that. Of course, Marcus Page has been in the staff for a few years now, actually. And he's teaching up the guards. I mean, a lot of the guards have said he has helped them with their game. And he seems like a natural coach, which makes sense. I mean, he was the point guard for the Tar Heels for a good little bit in the mid 2010s. Of course, was a member of the 2016 national runner-up team. He hit the miraculous shot that went in. Of course, it was overshadowed by the following shot by Chris Jenkins that won the national championship for Villanova. And, of course, the game that North Carolina lost. But Marcus Page has been on the staff since 2023, so this will be his third year on the staff. So yeah, this has got the bigs kind of going through their inside, some more inside scoring, kind of running through pick and rolls and screens and stuff like that. Kind of go ahead here, and this is the guards kind of going through kind of running through traffic, like doing their drills and everything like that, trying to find open space and stuff like that. And one of the things that was brought up, and this is something that AJ pointed out to me, because of course this is like my first time kind of seeing the basketball program. Right? I knew Sean May and Marcus Page were on the staff, and one of the things that's really, really impressive about the Tar Heel team is that if you look at the coaching staff, I mean, Sean May, we already mentioned him, obviously very accomplished player. His jersey's in the rafters, right? Then you have Marcus Page, great player. Remember him playing for the Tar Heels. Of course, I'm not a Tar Heel fan, but I watched a lot of college basketball, and he was one of the better players. And of course, as you mentioned, he hit that game-tying shot against Villanova, and that unfortunately was overshadowed by another one. Then you got Jeff Lebo. He was a guard at North Carolina, was a member of 2 Final Four teams for the Tar Heels. Of course, was a longtime head coach at the collegiate level at Tennessee Tech, Chattanooga, Auburn, and East Carolina. I mean, he was a head coach for nearly 20 years at the Division I college level, which is really, really unique. Because you don't really, to have another head coach, another guy on the staff who has been a head coach for over 20 years, is something that's really unique. So he's done that. I mean, that's pretty cool. But then also you have Brad Frederick, who's been on the staff for a very long time. Pat Sullivan, of course, has been on the staff for 4 years. So it's a very accomplished staff. But also, Pat Sullivan, also want to mention too, also was a player for North Carolina, where he was a member of the 93 National Championship team. So a lot of former North Carolina guys on the staff, but that makes sense because North Carolina's always had a lot of North Carolina guys on the staff. That's been the memo for a very long time. So there's that. I mean, it was really unique to see them practice and see this and everything. It's my first time doing it, so it was pretty unique. Also, we got 30 minutes to see them. We got to watch 30 minutes of practice. Just a reminder, we probably saw just as much during football season in terms of watching a sports team practice. So really unique. Really got to see how the practices were run. Something I haven't experienced before. And then also there's some, Jim Tanner was there, of course, the GM for basketball. Like I said, Hubert's wife was there. There's a few former players there as well who came by to watch them practice. So it was a really unique atmosphere. It's something I'm glad I got to witness. Of course, I got to share this video with y'all. The full video of this will be up on our site, so you can go check it out there. It'll have sound. You get to hear Hubert talk to his players. You get to hear Sean May and Marcus Page direct traffic. You also get to hear a little bit of Jeff Lebo there. Lebo there as well. Near the end of the video, so you get to hear a lot more sounds than just sights. So make sure to go check that out on the website. It'll also be up on YouTube as well. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You can of course make sure to check out the rest of the site at North Carolina Tar Heels on SI. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Tar Heels on SI, and then also make sure to go follow our Facebook page as well, North Carolina Tar Heels on SI. Once again, I'm your host, Grant Chachere, the lead beat writer for North Carolina Tar Heels on SI. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.